Morning, everybody. I see Jim's in here. Good morning, sir. And just doing a little touch up on that Cyrus bowl I did the other day. I wasn't happy with the. There's some scratches on the outside edges here, so I thought I'd kind of do a little removal of the finish. Now, see, the problem is when you do that, you get this on your sander because you already got that wax on there. You have to use one of these things that you use on your grinding grinding stones, and that will take it right off. There, not perfectly, but it'll take it off. If you're going to go back and sand with something where you already put the finish on, this is what you're going to get. Hey, Tim. Good morning. Yeah, well, like I said, first of all, I use intense light. I have a really high intensity light here, and I got another one here, and that helps a lot. I would say if you've got a lathe, buy yourself one of these. They're magnetic. They cost just a couple bucks. I actually put just what I did is I put a big washer right here, and the magnet sits right on top of that. And this gives me a lot of light. That's what I use for a lot of our shots too. But it gives me a lot of light, and I can look down here and I can go, oh, there's a little scratch, or there's something, a little tool mark or whatever. So these are wonderful for getting really good views of what you're doing. This one actually almost washes out. It's almost too bright. It's but don't go with the grain, because when you're spinning like this and you're sanding, what you're doing is you're creating little lines this way. If you can allow the orbiting of the sander to do this, you'll kind of cut across some of those, and you won't get into the grain as much. So, I don't have perfect sanding tips. Those are just a few things I've learned over the years. And go very slowly. Take your left hand and just move the wheel a little bit at a time. Go back and forth. I got to take some of the finish off again. Because that gets down in there and keeps it from actually doing any sanding. What you're doing there is you're melting the wax all over the finish again, is what you're doing. You have a fantastically bright light, and it charges on the USB. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't want it overly bright because, like I said, this one is almost too bright. It almost washes out the look, and I can't see some things. But for some things, it's really great. So I use both kind of lights. Plus, I got a nice big 48-inch fluorescent right above my head too. So just kind of getting a little bit of sanding out of the way here while we're waiting for some people to get in here. I'll take that off and I'll save this for another time. It's a little smoother. I was just using the high grit right now. I'll go to lighter grits later. I may even go back and return this because once I looked at it, I thought, this could be a little thinner. It's going to be just a little thinner because it's kind of clunky sounding. It doesn't have a ring to it. It's not ringing, and I like to get it to where it's ringing. That way you know that you've really got a nice turn on it. So, everybody has their little things. That's one of my little things that I like to worry about. So. Check off for the moment. We're not going to use this chuck today. If you all remember the other day when I was trying to turn that Manzanita, here it is, it broke. The tenon cracked, which we thought it might, and it did. So I've taken a block and I've put in a lot of hot glue. I mean, I really saturated this hot glue. I'm hoping that it will hold. And the reason I say it is because it did have a finish on it, and I tried to sand a little bit of the finish off. Yeah, 3 likes. Well, there you go. That's pretty typical, isn't it? You know. Yeah, it'd be nice if I got more likes. I don't know what's going on with the likes, but people are getting stingy with likes. Anyway, so what I did is I mounted this, and one of the problems you have when you've already rounded this and you need to get this perfectly on there, how do you get this on the block perfectly? Well, what I did is I brought up my tailstock, and I had the tailstock holding it right here like this, and then I could turn it very slowly and look for highs and lows until I got it to just right where it was, tighten this tailstock on there, hit the glue so it stayed on. And as you can see, we are pretty close to, I mean, about as close as you can get to being perfectly round because I did it that way. Okay, so there shouldn't be too much trouble with that. There is a little tiny bit of flux. I mean, if I put this on here, you can see that's the amount of flux. We're talking about maybe a 1/16 of an inch off, but I don't think I was going to get it much closer than that. So I got this mounted. We're going to try and finish this one off if we can. I don't know if we can or not, but I told you that I would come back and do it one more time and see if we could, or at least show you how you can maybe approach if you have a similar problem. So get my intro in here. And we all have these problems where a tenon breaks, and what do? Do we scrap the whole thing, or can we save it or do something with it? So let's see what we can do here. Ah, my wife is here. Say hi, Jane. Hi, June. There you go. She's working on another one of her waterfall teacups using pennies this time. Since the government's not using pennies anymore, that she thought we would use a few pennies in this one. So I just want to take a moment and talk about this. This is the mask that I've been wearing lately. As you can see, it covers your whole face. Okay. The battery is back here. The respirator is up front, so everything is balanced. This weighs about 1 pound and 2 ounces, I think. The whole thing. It is a hard hat. It completely envelops your face and keeps your dust collection here, so you're not breathing bad air. The battery lasts for 8 hours. It's not heavy. It's much lighter than the one from Trend, and the mask is adjustable. It's just a really great mask. I really love it. It's expensive as all get out. Okay, I will say that. But for what you get out of it, when they send you a package, they have a bundle package. And trust me, I'm not getting paid by this or anything, but they send you a full face shield, but then they send you a bunch of these plastic sheets that go over it, and it's a complete sheet. It goes all the way from one to the other, covers the entire surface. It's not one of those where it just covers this middle section here or something. So if you want something that will get, we'll do the whole thing. In the description, there's a place called Peak Safety, and there's a discount code there. I think it's $12 off your first purchase. And I talked to them the other day, and in fact, I was having a problem with the charger. At least I thought I was having a problem with the charger. I contacted them, and they got back to me within a couple of hours. And before the end of the day, she said, "You know what?" She said, "I'm not sure if that's going to fix it or not, but I'm going to mail you a new one on my way home." So on her way home, she actually mailed me another battery charge connector. As it turned out, I think it worked fine anyway. It takes about 3 hours 2 or 3 hours to charge it up, and it's good for about 8 hours or so. So, like I said, it's not inexpensive. You can judge for yourself, but how important are your lugs? I mean, this is by far of all the ones I've seen. I mean, 3M makes one that's about $2,000, and I put this up against the 3M one, and this is only about 700 for the whole bundle set. Uh, but if it's something you're going to be using for many years, I think it's a worthwhile purchase myself. Uh, anyway, not really, like I said, I'm not being paid by them or anything. I bought this on my own. And I changed where I'm putting my microphone. I hope you can hear me a little bit better than you have in the past. I'm putting my microphone a little bit closer to my face so you can hear me a little better, maybe. Don't know. Okay. So we're going to try this. I'm going to turn this one off. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this. See if I can get any kind of a purchase on this thing. Okay. Oh, that. This is where it gouged last time, so I'm going to be really careful with that. Well, this is hard work. Hmm. Okay. There. Yeah, you don't want the Harbor Freight one. Guys. I mean, I use the Harbor Freight one when I'm doing my chainsaw or something. But you want to have it at least ANSI certified. You're gonna have a. If you're gonna use a face mask, get something that's actually gonna protect you. If you ever saw that video with Mike from the Whacking Shack where he got hit in the face by the piece when he was first learning how to turn. The next week he had a new face mask because he learned really quick. Hey. Now I could ask my wife if she wants to do some of the turning in here. What do you guys think? Should I ask her to do that? I know it's pretty hard. It's Manzanita. I don't know if you You want to turn? Um. She says, Well,
I don't want to ruin it.
I don't want to ruin it either, to be honest with you. I figure if I let you ruin it, then I can blame you and it doesn't count on me, right, guys? Anyway. I'm taking very tiny quick cuts because this is very hard wood.
I'll let you do it.
All right. If I screw it up, I guess it's my fault then. Well, that was my backup excuse in case things didn't work out. But, you know, there it is. For the rest of you, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. We're getting so close to 5,000. But lately, we're only getting like 8 or 9 subscribers on one of these lives. We used to get like 100. Now, I understand that's probably because a lot of you watching already are subscribers. But if you aren't a subscriber, please consider doing it. It really helps with the channel. It helps to show that we're continuing to grow. And check out some of my friends, or check out Jim at Soldier Farms. He's really starting to grow his site. Yeah, well, you know, if you have several people that you can try, I only have my wife, Jim. So unfortunately, that's the only one that I can offer to teach. I was talking to Jessica, Ryan's wife, the other day on here, and she said, you know, she said she's up to doing another challenge. We did a wife challenge a while back. And she did a really good job. So did Mike Mike Lauder from the Whacking Shack. He did a really good job with his wife. I noticed in both cases it sounded like they had actually watched some of the videos, some YouTube videos, and kind of saw what they were supposed to know. And that always helps too. YouTube is a great way to do things, but the best teacher, of course, is getting the tool in your hand, right? If you taught her how to turn, you'd never get the lathe. Yeah, well. Until I built a shop my wife showed no inclination to do anything like work with wood, and now she's got half my shop. So that tells you something too. Whenever I'm cutting stuff up, she's always saying, "Well, can I use this piece? Can I take that piece?" She's taking my bowls now and turning them into other things. She's saying, "Hey, do you want to sell this bowl this way, or can I do this with it?" And go ahead, you know. So far, so good. This is holding. I don't see any signs of it coming off. And we are a little over halfway through, so that's good. We might have saved it. The real challenge with doing an inside to outside turn is to make sure you're not scooping up like this. Because if you scoop up like this, you're going to end up with having a big chunk that you didn't take out on the side. You want to bring it across. You actually have to draw it across, like watching the other side of the bowl, so you can see the wood disappearing on the other side as you come across. And you know when you come up against the sidewall. So that's, you know, can't stay long. Hey, Michael, can't stay long. Just into help with the audio. Yeah, well, please hit that like button like everybody else, and I appreciate you coming in and saying hi. You're probably watching the Masters, right? Had a day of it. Oh yeah, blessing. Yep. Well, sit down, watch the Masters. See if Rory McIlroy can hold on, or somebody else is going to tell you it's a tight race. There's like 4 or 5 guys now that can take the Masters today. So it always gets fun on Sunday for the Masters, right? I'm not a huge golf watcher, but it seems like in a certain tournament that just always give you a surprise at the end. And it seems to be one of the years for that one. Oh, by the way, wearing a new smock. Just got this at Crafter's Supplies, and it is really, really lightweight, very lightweight. It's going to be great for the summer. It's black, so of course it shows everything that gets on it. But really, really, really nice. Very roomy and stretch material. So that it's really kind of a pretty good. It costs about $50, but if you want to keep your shirts clean, again, I'm not getting anything for that. I'm just letting you know it's something that I got recently. Actually, at one of our at the last wood turners meeting, I won one of the drawings, and I had a $50 gift certificate for Crafter's Supplies. So this is what I spent it on. It cost me a couple bucks for the shipping, and that's about it. bottom, so I'm going to use some finalizing here in a minute, but I want to go a little bit deeper. I'm going to go to the scraper here now, a little early. The scraper almost works like a bottom feeder or a carbide, but it's got a much wider blade. It's a little more substantial, a lot easier to control than a carbide would be. Yeah, it looks like cedar, but it's super hard. It is Manzanita. Manzanita is a very, very hard wood. See how that goes. That's interesting. You got branches coming in here, here, and here all at the same time in the bottom of this. You'll see that better in a minute, but that's kind of what I'm hitting against. And I am right here. So I'm going to just kind of smooth that out as best I can. I'll tell you, I love this particular scraper. It is really dead sharp, and it just really cleans out the bottom of the bowl. A really nice finish. There. I think I'll go a little bit deeper and see. I think I can go just a little bit more. The more you can get out of a small bowl, the better. It is a small bowl. So if we can get just a little bit more out of it, it's probably a good thing. Just don't want to screw it up a bit. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Okay. I think I need to work on this top here just a bit. Just to smooth that over. rid of any tool marks and stuff. There's a little bit of tool marks there, so we just want to clean that out. And I think I can get the rest of that with a little bit of sandpaper. So there. Okay. Yeah, this is mesquite. Sorry, Manzanita. It does not smell like cedar or cypress or any of those nuts. But look at this. Look at this. Okay, that is very fine orange crushing or red crushing. There's a trash can here. It's very fine dust, and you don't want to be breathing that, which is why I like wearing this mask. I'm getting nice, fresh, cool air. And you'll see how much the filter caught in just a minute too. I'll show you. Okay, so let's put the toys away, and we will sand this out a little bit. And by the way, I was only doing that at about 800 RPM. You gotta take it a little bit easy on this. Hose with glue. I'll run it backwards also. Won't need a lot of sanding, just a little tiny bit. Actually. And we'll go up to the next one. Yeah, okay. That's all I needed to do on that. Get the back really quick. We have a cool area. Take this mask off for a minute so you can hear me better. By the way, this is you know, so you can see the red dust, but if I top it, you see the dust that it collected. This has a two-stage filter. So that's the outer stage of the filter. There's an inner filter also that needs to be kept clean. Okay, Tim, go take off. I appreciate you being in here. Okay. What else we got? Parish. Yeah, good to see you in here. Okay, so let's put a little finish on this. I think we were using the Howards on this, so it doesn't need any hardening. I save my tongue oil finishes for when I need to harden the wood. This one does not need hardening. It's plenty hard on its own, so there's no sense doing that. I'm going to put some Howard's feed and wax in here. And you can find Howard's feed and wax at any good hardware store, Walmart's, places like that even. In fact, I put a link in the description area. Again, I don't think I get anything out of it. I want to make sure people know how to get these products if they need them. So you'll see if you go to the description area of this video, you can find this stuff. Now, I kind of oversaturated that a little bit, and that's okay. I wanted to kind of sit there, and it won't soak in a lot, but this is dry wood, so it will soak it in some. And of course, we're going to have to do the fun thing of removing this from the glue fitting. But you can see a good quality hot glue can do a really good job of holding on to a piece of wood. I wouldn't use it for heavy pieces of wood, and I would not use it for difficult turnings where you're going to have encounter a lot of, say, um, a lot of bouncing and chugging around and all that. Those are probably not the best uses for it. But if you are using it for a general turning like this, I think the glue hold is wonderful, and you've seen me use it many times. Or if you have a really thin piece of wood that you're doing for a plate or something, you don't want to have any screws in it or anything like that holding it, this is the way to go. Of course, another way to do it is what they call a vacuum chuck, but not many of us can afford or have a vacuum chuck, so I don't really want to go into that conversation too much because that's a very specialized chuck that only usually only top level, like touring pro kind of guys use, not us everyday shop kind of guys. So gonna let this kind of soak in for just a minute. Hey Susie, how you doing? Okay, we're gonna, while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go get my heat gun. I know it's counterintuitive to use a heat gun while you're working on a finish because the finish might melt with it a little bit. And that's okay too if you're trying to get it into the pores. That can actually be a good thing. Okay. Implement some destruction. And I have an outlet up here that's on a 25-foot reel, which is great because I can even run it outside. It's one of those ones you see in garages, the with a round canister, and it's spring loaded, and you can run out about 25 feet. It's great for having in the shop. Used to love the gym. Ah, well, you still get in the gym, don't you? I think, don't you help the kids in sometimes? I thought I heard you saying something about that. Okay, let's turn that down just a little bit. We don't need it that high. It's throwing stuff on me. Nice. That's looking really nice. There's a couple dry spots that kind of suck up the finish, and I can go back over those. Or this one I think actually looks better shiny. It might need a little lacquer spray at the end of this. I don't know. We'll see. But let's put the heat on here. See if I can get it to loosen up. This is what makes the whole glue gun thing really work well. Is having one of these. And it gets very hot very quickly, so you want to be really careful. You don't want to overheat your wood or bake your wood. You just want to start seeing the glue glisten a little. It starts to give a little bit. Let's see if I can. Oh, start smoking a little bit too. I don't want that. It sometimes takes a couple of tries to get it. I'm gonna get my little hammer here to give. Like I said, I put quite a bit of glue on here, so it's possible that it might take a little bit to encourage off. There, there, and there. Yeah, see, it's starting to come off already. Right there, see? That's coming off. There we are. And it starts to come off. And most of the glue stays on there where after it's dried or cooled off, I can shake it off pretty easily. I have a little bit of glue to remove here, not a big thing. I can get that off pretty easily. But there's our bowl basically. And you can see what that looks like on the inside. It's a gorgeous piece of wood. And I love this outside piece. It has really nice colors to it. And like I said, I'll get the rest of that glue off of there pretty easily. I love these branches in here. You see this branch coming in here, and another one here, another one down here. It all really adds to the character of the wood piece. So I really like this one. And there's a tiny bit of sanding. This will be all through. It's almost a therapeutic sitting here peeling glue off too. So yeah, really happy with that. Okay, and this take the bulk off, but I'm gonna have to go back and get take the rest of it. I'll use the chisel probably to chisel it off, or just toss it. This is just poplar. It's not an expensive wood to make these. It takes it's pennies to make one of these. Quite honestly, so after you do two or three in one, you throw it away and you make a new one. So the only real cost here was the glue. Okay. So I hope you guys learned something from that one. That went so quickly and smoothly. I'm almost afraid to try another one at this point. But I do have some others I wanted to try. Aside for now. If you don't put your tools away, they never get back in the same spot again. Right? So I'll set this aside. And I got a couple of pieces of oak here. I thought I'd start with a small one. I'm unfamiliar with this piece of wood, this particular piece of wood, and every piece of wood is different. So I will see how this turns before I turn the bigger piece. Yeah, over there. Gotta get that electrical back up there. Put my heat gun away. Get this cradle. There we go. Good. Okay, well, let's see what we can do with this. Okay, this is just a piece of oak. It is a white oak, I think, and it's pretty hard wood. It has a hairline crack here, and that's what I'm not sure. If this crack goes all the way through, we could be having a real problem. You know, so if that's the case, I'm going to have to treat it and set it aside. But we'll see by turning it around. At least we'll find out. So we're going to get the round out of it first. As close as we can. There we go. All right, I'll get that. I will put my helmet back on just in case this does go flying off of here. I will be protected. So, there we go. And I probably need to sharpen this, but I think for roughing here I'll be okay. I think we're pretty much round. That's all that took. Yeah. Do a little scraping cut here. Smooth it off a little. Yeah, it does have some, yeah, these stress cracks in it that concern me, but we can deal with those. We can deal with anything, actually, if we know about it ahead of time. That's why you always want to be looking at and reading your wood. Something I always talk about, reading your wood. Bye, Pat. Have a nice day. Thanks for coming in. Please hit that like button, people, and subscribe if you can. It really helps the channel if you would. Okay. Yeah, I'm running into a knot, cracks, all sorts of fun things. Okay. Let me see here. I'm going to go to my SKU. We got a crack right here I have to deal with. If I do a spray out, I tend to maybe pull that crack out. If I do a tenon, pushing it in, I might have a better chance of holding on to it. It's not my favorite tenon to make. Okay, got a little dovetail going on. Let's see. Yeah, I can take that down some. I will. I'm not as common doing the an exterior outside tenon. I don't quite have the eye for it that I do for the. Interior tenon. The lighter tenon. That's too open, I think, for me. Not real happy with that. I can go a little bit smaller than that. If I go a little bit smaller, I can maybe avoid some of this soft wood too. So let's see if I can do that. Nice and sharp and clean. Yeah, that's going to be much better. That's going to be much better. Let's see, the closer you are to being circular, if you look at this, this is kind of a little bit squarish. I'm going to be touching here, here, but not right here. I'm going to be touching here and here, but not quite here. So you're going to have less contact space. If you can get it to where you are just about here, then you have almost perfect connection on that tenon all the way through the entire circle. See that difference? Because what happens when they make this as one piece of wood, of metal, and they use a saw, they cut into 4 pieces, so the kerf of the saw, however thick the saw is what keeps it from so you don't want it all the way in. If you do, that's not a circle because you're not allowing for the fact that there was a kerf of the thickness of the saw blade going through. You need to be a little bit less than that probably right about there somewhere is the actual best place. Now I could go a little bit smaller and do that. Maybe I will, just to kind of demonstrate. But you want to have a little bit of room, but you don't want to have. Okay, that'll give me just about what I need. And I'm avoiding most of that crack now that I made it this way. Most of that crack is avoiding this entirely, which is good. That means my tenon will be much more secure. And I think before I turn this around, what I'm going to do is treat this with just a little bit. If I'm going to glue left in this or not. Let's see. See if I can. I'm going to put a little bit of skin glue down in that hole, just to kind of tighten that up just a little bit, and protect it from cracking any further. Okay. I haven't finished the outside yet. This is the time to put any CA glue in these cracks. I'm going to treat them now before. I can see right here where I still got a little bit of turning to do because I didn't see this little notch from probably from the saw or whatever when it was being cut. Especially where there's a knot, you want to make sure that your knot is secured as best as it can be. It's going to fly off and it's going to look funny. I can see there's a lot of problems with this particular piece, but this was just kind of a sample piece to begin with anyway. So I'm not really concerned one way or the other. Okay, a little activator on there. If I had already turned most of this, I would have probably gone with a I would have probably gone with using a wood glue instead. So I'm going to do this because I don't want to. I didn't want any of that glue affecting my attachment on here. Okay. Okay. Now, like I said, I noticed that there was a little bit of this part right here. So it's time to use the gouge probably again. Let's see if I see anything. That's what that gouge was. I still need a little haircut. Okay. There we go. That's all right. Okay. And there's still a little bit of glue in there too. Some of those fumes got in there because this mask does not stop fumes. So when you heat up super glue or CA glue, you will get fumes. You can burn your eyes and stuff, so be careful with that. Hi, Johnny. Bye, Johnny. All my friends are coming in and then taking off because it's Sunday. I know that. I understand that. Okay. All right. So we got that. I think we got that pretty good. Okay. I'm going to just give this a real clean cut right here. Paper. All that's going to do is pick up anything that's highlighting a little. Turn over the edges a little bit. A little bit of nice and steady. There we go. That could be a really smooth finish. That's already about 220 grit right there. 240 grit just on that. The nice thing about oak is it's a hard wood, but it does turn. So, kind of like a piece of wood. It's workable. It will fight you a little bit. That was at about 1800 RPM. Oh, wow. That's really nice. Okay, I'm going to give it just one more. I should have turned this on. Just I'm going to go the other direction too. But that's some nice subtle colors in the wood. And I hope that this thing is great right there. That last thing is all our branches coming in from all sorts of places. Got branches coming in from the right, left side of this piece of wood. So it's a very busy little part of the wood. Okay. And I know this is pretty dry wood. I'll just double check myself. I mean, you can get a reading on it. I'm not even getting a moisture reading on this one for some reason. Could be the density of the wood. Oh, 6. Okay. 6%. So it is very dry. It is as dry as it can be, especially considering it's been raining. So, which Laguna? Wait, hi Mike. Laguna. I've got the Revo 1216 because I don't usually do things that are like 20 or 30 inches long, but the 16 allows me to do large bowls on the outside, and still allows me to do the like a 11-inch or 12-inch bowl on the inside. So, but you notice I did also change out the banjo for the one-way banjo, which is much improvement over the Laguna. So, hope that answers your question. Okay, this is was a really big adjustment. This is just so much nicer. Everything is tight as can be. It works smooth. I just love it. Yes, it cost me $200, but $200 well spent, I think. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to put just a little bit of finish on this. I'm not going to really do a lot of finish on this right now. I just want to put a little something on it before we turn it around, so you can kind of see what this looks like when you get it finished on. What do you think? It's a nice kind of warm oak finish. Like I said, I wasn't doing anything fancy with this one. I was just kind of using this as a test because I got some bigger pieces of this I've got to turn. I wanted to see what I might run into. So far, I'm pretty happy with the wood. It's got its challenges or two in there, but it's pretty nice. Okay. I'll let that soak in for just a second, and then I'll catch up with you guys a little bit. So ask any questions. You guys have any questions I can answer for you while we're waiting? I just want this to soak in for a minute or so before I wipe it off and we turn it around. So if you got a question, now's the time. Let's see. Yeah, white oak finishes nice. It does, and it's a this was a nice live tree. So I'll show you the piece I got next from it. Here's his big brother. And as you can see, it's got some nice lines in it and so forth. Um, I might do this as a live bowl, edge bowl. The bark seems to be pretty well established on it. So if I want to do a live edge bowl, I could do that. I'm still considering that. I mean, I know I already mounted this, but I could turn around and I could mount on this and make this the tenon down here. So, in fact, looking at the wood, this might be the better place to put the tenon to hold it in the first place. But we'll see. One of the fun things about working with all this wood is that you get the chance to think about it. And here's another piece of it, even a little bit taller. So if I don't do it on that one, I might do it on this one. I don't know. This one, I think I might have a little bit less drop off on the edges. But a nice big piece of wood. I had several of them here, so we'll see. Okay, this is already soaking into the wood. I can see that, but we will wipe this off. There. That beeswax and orange does a real nice job. That Howard's does a really nice job on this one. And you can always touch it up anytime you want. So, you know, expensive. Okay, boy, that's a lot lighter than what's too. Okay, let me get the drill over here so I can take these out. Like I very rarely do a tenon like this. I'm just not a big fan of them. I think reset tenon just adds so much more to work with, but this is what we have, so I'm gonna do it. Go with it. Besides, it's not bad to keep your other skills kind of, you know, you need to redo your skills every once in a while also. So think backwards, Jeff. There we go. Let's see, that's where that is. So I want to put less stress on that, so I'm going to do this one here. If you don't have a good seat on the bottom, I mean on this side of the wood, you won't get a good seat. It'll be out of center. That's just a little bit off. Even though you saw me polish it and so forth several times. I'm going to put that in there. There we go. I'm not used to what's weird is I'm not used to seeing the little grooves on the outside. I'm used to those being in. So when I look at this, my mind is going, wait a minute, you're not in the lighter. And I remember, no, it's on the inside. So just trying to lighten this up just a little bit. Good fit. The less wobble. Oh, that's more wobble. Less wobble, better. Let's see what I'm getting wobbled up. I think maybe just a little bit of that CA glue. Maybe, I don't know. Could even be this. But so seldom use the inside, it could be just have a little bit of dirt in them. Okay. It's going to be what it is. So hold on. We'll turn accordingly. Make sure that's on too. Here we go. That's not bad. Okay, I can live with that. Being fussy kind of pays off when you're doing something like this. You want it to be just like you want it. And I think it's time to sharpen this since I haven't sharpened it for the last 2 bolts. I'm going to use some pretty hard wood. Take this down. This is what I use. Okay. People are always asking me. Real quick. Okay. What that takes. Get a new edge on it. Okay, we're going to put the head on. Helmet on, I should say. And we're going to go to work. Those of you that are in here, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. I see we got like about, what, about 30 likes or 29 likes or something like that. I'd like to have a few more. They don't cost you anything. I gotta be really careful here because there's a knot on the edge. Digging on the floor. Okay. We've established a little bit of tension here. There's something right here. Bang, bang, bang. I'm not sure. I guess it might be this. Sure. Something is like bang, bang, bang every time I go around. I'd like to stop and see. There's that crack I'm running into now. There's a big piece missing right here. Okay. Have I ever turned hickory? I think I did once for a handle. But no, hickory is not something that's available around these parts in California. California has a lot of different woods, but one thing we don't have is a lot of furniture wood. Unless you kind of repurpose the kind of furniture wood, but we don't have alder too much or hickory or anything like that. We do have oak. We got lots of oak, but a lot of it is scrub oak. We have a lot of walnut and a lot of fruit trees like pistachio, almond. Almond can be pretty good for some furniture pieces, I think. Of course, we've got cedar and redwood and so forth for outdoor furniture. And yes, you can turn redwood, but not all redwood. I've turned on the channel before. I've turned sequoia. I've turned cedar. I've turned cypress. All of them are similar species in the same categories. You can turn. I've turned spalted pine, but I don't like turning like a 2x4 or something like that. That just falls apart. White pine is not something that I would turn for construction pine. Some old growth fir, red fir, red oak. Those can all be turned. And we have pistachio and almond, and of course we have all the fruit trees. I mean, because this area of this little corner of the United States produces about 3/4 of all the fruit and vegetables that you eat in the United States. How are we doing here? We are about halfway through, I guess. Yeah, walnut and maple are both really good. In fact, I got a walnut piece on here that I'm waiting to turn. I'll show that to you in a minute. But it may be a good challenge. So walnut boards that usually comes in the trunk, but there's a lot of walnut in the branches too. Some of the branches are huge. This is walnut from a branch, and you see it's a little bit more gray, a little less of the dark brown that you're used to seeing. There's a little bit more of the gray. It's a little bit more stranded than you would get from the trunk. Of course, this was part of the pith right here that all popped out. So we're cutting from just above the pith, and I've got a few voids in here and stuff. I got to prepare it a little bit more before we turn it, but I think this will be an interesting piece. It's got a little bit of reds in there, and it's got another branch pith right here, and on this side here. So yeah, we'll probably be turning this in the next week, and it's not a big brother. It's not a piece too, so we'll be turning we have a couple of those to turn. Maple's nice, but the problem with maple is that it doesn't have a whole lot of character to the wood. Well, I like wood with a little bit of character to it. Yeah, it is different. It is different when you kiln dry because you're racing the process. Of course, I'm also a big fan of turning when the wood is wet and then going back and returning it later. One of my woodworking friends, actually the president of our woodworking club, he likes to turn green wood and then let it warp out of shape because he'll turn a big bowl like this and then he'll let it warp out of shape a little bit on purpose. And it gets a nice little twist to it. It actually gives it sort of a wave on the top that actually looks pretty cool. That's kind of the fun part of turning. You've got a lot of choices. You can microwave dry too. Have you ever done microwave drying? Yeah. Well, sometimes you want to work. Like I wanted to. I did a couple of wing bowls. They wing out like this, and I wanted to stretch out more so it's a little bit more oval and not as round because it actually looks better. So you can use that warp as an artistic choice. Oh, is that getting hot? That tip is getting really, really hot. That's a lot of friction. I've got a couple of videos. If you go back to some of my earlier videos last year and all, you'll see that I did some where I actually showed what happens with the warp and how it really enhanced the look of the wood. Because not everybody always wants just a plain old round bowl. That gets very kind of boring a little bit. It looks like it just came off the manufacturer's table. And if you can do a little bit of warping with it, and understand, warping does not mean twisting and going out out of shape. Warping means maybe it just opens up. The wood on the side pulls in, the wood on the outside opens out, and you get this nice open shelf kind of shape to it. So warping can be a really good concept. If you use it the right way. How far down am I? I still got quite a ways. You gotta be careful not when you get near the end. You get kind of excited. You start to push the tool a little bit, and you gotta be careful with that because you don't want to over gouge, take too much out, and catch something and ruin your turn. So be aware of the fact that you're maybe pushing it a little too much, you know. We're a little mounded in the middle. Okay. Gotta make sure that I'm feeling to make sure that we're staying level. Okay. I think we can go a little thinner. I'm going to use my see if I can use this. I don't know. Let's see. See if I can raise a burr on this still. Not ready to be put back on the grinder, but I think I can raise the burr just a little bit more. Let's see. I'm trying to be really nice because I don't want to lose this knot. It goes all the way down into here. Okay. I want to lose that. And I'm trying to thin these sides out just a little bit because otherwise it looks a little disproportionately large or thick for the size of the bowl. And we do need to go down further. So we're coming on the whole stretch. Nice and smooth on the bottom. That's good. We are very thin now. We are very thin there. So that's about as far as we want to go on that. Okay. I think what I want to do is just maybe use this one just to scrape on the edge part just a little bit. bit tighter of a corner so I can get in there with it just a little bit more. Sorry for my head being in the way there. I apologize that. Let me kind of bring you down here a little closer to the action. I apologize for my head being in the way. So if you're still watching, please hit the like button. I would appreciate it. I know we've had quite a few people in and out of here over the last 90 minutes or so. I think we're going to be ready to sand that out because I don't want to go any deeper. We're running into some cracks, so this is where we'll stop and sand. Okay. All right. We will go up the speed. And one more, and this will just be it. Real quick. All right. That's all we can do on that. We don't want to go any further. Tail it off. And let's put a little finish on this and call that one good. Okay. We'll have to I'll take the tin off the back side, but really good. The outside again really good. So it's got a coating. The bottom. We're just getting it on everything. We managed to save this knot that was loose actually when I started, and we saved that with a little CA glue. We dealt with these cracks, which I don't think will come back to be a problem, but I will keep an eye on them over the next few days. And I'll let this dry very slowly. I'll probably put this in a bag after putting the finish on it, just to let it kind of cure a little bit. Because you are exposing fresh wood, you're changing the pressures that are on the wood. It starts to you've kind of released it. It may do a little this, and may do a little that because all this stuff was held together by its overall thickness and weight of the wood around it. So now you've released some of that from the inside, and what happens sometimes it will untwist itself just a little bit, sort of like a crumpled up paper starting to unfold itself again. So and just be aware that your wood will change and will move, especially if there's any changes in the weather too. A drastic change in the temperature or moisture could also do it, so be careful with that. Hey Tim, you're back. So, I'm not sure if is Johnny back in here. I'm not sure if Johnny's back in here or not. But anyway, I appreciate you guys being in here. Please again hit the like button if you didn't before. Of course, I know Tim, you're subscribed, and most of the others are subscribed too. But if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We'd really like to get more than 7 or 8 subscribers on a video. At that rate, it'll take me 6 months to get another 300 subscribers to get to my 5,000. I'm only 300 away, so we'd really like to get that off the table. We're also getting we're well over, we're almost at 4.7 billion views, I think at this point. Coming up on our 1-year mark. Here in a couple of weeks, we'll have our 1-year anniversary of the channel. Of course, the channel wasn't really doing any lives or anything like that until much later. That's when I first opened the channel with a couple of videos, tips for wood turners, which is what I started with here. So what do you think? That's our bowl. Get this off of here. I may just leave that channel on there. It's not that bad of a channel. It's a nice small one. I'll think about that, but I probably should take it off. What do you think? Do I leave it on there, polish it up, and leave it on there, or should I take it off? Because I could take it off. That's not an issue, but just curious what you guys think. I'll wait for your opinion here. Here's the wood. It had its challenges in there. Nice finish. Nice bowl. Would have liked it to be a little bit thinner, I think, but given what I had, I think I did okay. Think I should take it off, Mike? Okay. So there's I like to use a jam chuck. Let's see if I can find the right jam chuck size. That'll be just about perfect. And I just need to find, oh, where's my, I have some rubber sheets that I use with this. I can find them in here. I'll just cut off a slice. That's what I do. You know, when you make your chisels really, really, really sharp, you got to be really careful when you make your chisels really sharp, and then you got to be really careful when they fall because you could slice your hand right open. Okay, this is what I like to use. This stuff here. This stuff works really good for this kind of process. Get a pair of scissors. Cut it off. Let's see. I'll cut it off right about there. Stuff is really cheap. It's like, I don't know, $7 or $8 a roll, depending on where you get it. You use it for a lot of things. You use it with the router. It holds things down for like routing. It works for all sorts of woodworking, sanding, for yeah, using your wood planes. Work for that. Okay, that's all right. Let me get my. my tail stock. Okay. Tail stock's in place. Jam chuck in place. If you don't know what jam chuck is, it's just basically a piece of I use poplar in this case. But you take the jam chuck, you turn it over nice around. You make them different sizes. You want different sizes so you get a good, nice fit for the different types of bowls that you. This one works really good. Just out of the way for the moment. I'm going to bring that up, and I still know where the center was. So I'm going to see, without putting too much pressure on this, I'm going to see how close I am to being in the middle. Hair off. I mean, like really, really close there. Well, that's about perfect. Okay. So just like that, tighten this down just a little bit. Doesn't be hard tight. It just points in there a little. Okay. I think I probably need a different rest. Right in there like so. Good. All right. I'm going to put my helmet back on here for a minute. This is something I have not done in probably 3 months. So this should be kind of interesting. I'm sorry. Here. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you there. I'll try and get you a little bit close if I can. Okay. There you go. probably just take the well, you know what? I'll get there. What? I'm just gonna knock that off. There we go. I can just press that out. Did I tell you remove the tail spot? Use that tail cut. I think that worked pretty good, actually. Take that off of there. This will live this another day. And as you can see, I've got several different sizes of jam chucks for different size bowls. And you can make them, you can put a faceplate on the backside, or you can make them to fit into the chuck, whichever way you want to do it. Yeah. Ali Batachi. There's the name. This is oak. This is an oak piece. I have done some sycamore in the past. This is very, very thin. Just to show you how thin this is. Okay. It's that thin. I'm basically probably about between an eighth and a 16th of an inch from the bottom. So I call that just at the right time before we went to the bottom and had a peekaboo bowl. And I'll take a little palm sander to it and kind of smooth this out so it looks a little nicer. But there you go. There's the bowl. Okay, and it is very thin on the bottom. I kind of wish I had the sides as thin as I had the bottom there, but that's what it is. The other nice thing about having a recessed bowl, a tenon, is that I can put it back on here and I can fix it like I was doing with this one earlier today. I wanted to go back on here and kind of redo the outside, so I just put this right back on here, and I was able to return it or redo it a little bit more. I'm going to work on the inside a little bit later too, and I think it's just a little bit more of an angle here. I think it's just a little bit too thick. It doesn't look right to me, so I'm going to work on that just a little bit more. So, any other questions out there? Again, I see some new people. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's white oak. Well, it's kind of golden oak now because of the finish I put on it, but it's white oak. Yeah. You can see the little markings on it here. Pretty obviously oak. Anything else, guys? All right, well, we're coming up on 2 hours here, so see where we stand. We're at, well, it'd be nice if we could get 11 more likes. I don't know if we can get 11 likes out of everybody here. But if we get 11 more likes, at least we'll be at 50. 39 is pretty low for 2 hours of bull turning. Hope you liked it better than that. Hope you like this one I did earlier. That's what it looks like now that it's dried a little bit. And I still got to take the glue off the bottom of this one. Yeah. But yeah, what do you think of the inside of that bowl? We got that one. We got this one. And this one for the other day. And we're going to go back to a couple of bowls next time. But I really like these. These are great for using in the bathrooms or throwing things into, like your rings or whatever. Um, I keep a couple of these in each of our bathrooms just for something to toss things into. It would be a soap dish if you wanted it to, I suppose. What do you think, guys? I don't see any other comments coming up. We did get to 40. That's one. We just need 10 more people to like it. Come on, treat me like you do Sally Fields. Huh? Oops, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Get a little better shot of the shop here and all. But, so you got to see me use this in the demonstrations today. It worked really nice. We have cleaned this a little bit. I think we're starting to get some particles on it. Eventually I'll have to replace that, but like I said, they send you a bunch of them. And you buy the bundle, you get these, you get extra, you get extra filters, you get everything. You only need one battery because this battery lasts a long time. So it's a very small, lightweight battery. Really like it. So this is called Powercap. If you are interested at all, you can go to the description in the website. I'm sorry, the description on the video here, and in the description it will take you. If you go to that site, it will take you in and get you $12 off your first purchase. I know that's not a big discount or anything, but it's what they offer. So you guys will get $12 off, and that's that pays shipping if nothing else. So you ever check out their site? They have a lot of safety equipment, and depression. Kind of got in here late, but you got here. You can see what we made today. This Manzanita and the soak. So the day of the hardwoods today. So again, please hit that like button. 26 of you in here. I don't know how many have already done it, but it should be all 26 if you hit the like button. That would really help. We're at 41, and that's about it. It looks like. Okay, well, that's okay. We made it to the 2-hour mark, and now I can spend the rest of the day doing all the honeydews around the house. I got to replace and the light fixture, and I'm sure there's a few things around the house that need to be done. So, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Don't forget we do a live every Thursday, and we'll see you then too. Okay? So thanks for being here today.